Hey, happy day 790 of What's She Up To Now. She, being Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, me, also known as Pajama Grandma, documenting the journey as I transition from the offline brick and mortar world of offline businesses and corporate America to the online world. I started documenting my journey, obviously, 790 days ago, and actually a little longer than that, but I didn't commit to doing every day and keeping track of what I was doing and journaling every day until, 790 days ago when it became apparent that I wasn't going to be able to document in journals and keep track of what I was doing. Plus, I'd been being told repeatedly, over and over and over again, by some of my coaches and mentors that I needed to publish, I needed to get online, and I needed to find a way and a platform that I could do that on. And as I've becoming and had been becoming more and more visually challenged, it made sense to, get up my courage and do it via video, to keep a video journal and kind of a video log versus trying to document in other ways. And so that's part of why I selected to do a video every day about this. Now today I'm thinking about rats because rats abandoning a sinking ship was the idiom that I discussed on Supersize Your Business. Supersize Your Business, it's kind of divesting and going in two different directions. There's people that are still in business and growing and wanting to really keep moving forward in their business, and there's a whole slew of people that are just like, I just need to frickin' save my business. What do I do? And so now I'm working with two groups to kind of, everybody wants to survive this whole coronavirus. Everybody wants to make sure that we come out the other side. Guess what? We're not coming out unchanged. We're all going to be forever changed. But how do we come through this in a better position than we were when we came into it? And I think that's all of our goal and objective. How do we make sure that we're better prepared and that our business is better structured, that we never have to deal with something like, well, we're going to have to deal with stuff like this again, but how do we do it better, faster, easier, more efficiently, and more effectively the next time, the next little crisis? Guess what? After this, any little thing, any little bubble in our business, it's just going to feel like a little hiccup. And so there's always a way to have a perspective that makes us feel better about it. So I'm thinking about rats and abandoning ships and not realizing how long that idiom has been around. And I'm really finding that I'm so glad I started doing these idioms because they're kind of the constant thing that I can keep doing throughout this time of turmoil that, everybody's freaking out and not knowing what to do. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing. And I think that gives me some focus and some consistency throughout this. And that's where the offer question comes in, and then the organization. I have been coaching people to use this time to get organized, not only in your business, but in your life. Organize your stuff. And the fact that I committed today that I'm going to spend 1 hour a day throughout this whole time period organizing stuff lets me believe that I still have too much stuff, that if it isn't organized the way I want it, then I probably still have too many things. So I'm not going to just organize, but I'm going to organize the things that I want to keep and want to structure and have a place for everything and everything in its place, which was the fun challenge yesterday and today. Doing a 365-day, do one fun thing every day. It's not really a challenge, but it is a challenge, and it's especially a challenge now to make sure that you're looking for the fun. Look for the thing that you can do that makes you feel good and have fun during this whole thing. I was talking to my son this morning, and I'm like, buddy, people are feeling bad that they can't do things, and it's something I coached him through when he had an injury, a bad injury in a bad car accident for years. When we focus on, and I learned this dealing with chronic pain myself and dealing with people that have chronic pain, when we focus on what we can't do and what we've lost and what we don't have and what we're not able to do, we feel miserable and terrible. But if we think about and we focus on and are grateful for the things that we can do, we can feel awesome no matter what's going on around us. And I'm reminding him and myself every day, we don't really have it that bad. Most of us are getting the things that we need. We've got internet, we've got access to the rest of the world, electronically, even though we can't physically be hanging out with each other. Electronically, we have entertainment sources like we've never had before. We still have the ability to online shop. We have the ability to go online and learn about or be entertained by absolutely anything and any subject you can imagine. So I was thinking this morning, I'm really grateful, and I'm not feeling that bad, because if this had happened even 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, we'd really still be hurting because we didn't have the access to the information in the world that we do now. So it depends what you're looking at when you're accessing that world, right? If you're watching the mainstream media and the news and the way it's being manipulated and reported, you're probably feeling miserable. turn it off. Turn it off right now. I beg you to turn it off. And spend your time and energy. Watch movies that are funny. Watch humorous things. Watch whatever genre that makes you feel good. But do whatever you can to be feeling better, not feeling worse. If watching the news makes you feel bad and you're horrified and gives you a stomachache, turn it off, right? Stop watching it. I don't know why we think that as human beings we have to do all these things that torture us. We don't. Guess what? You're going to know what's going on in the world. If something in your area changes, someone will call and tell you. That you'll get notified in a way by authorities or something. So don't worry about it. You don't need to know and feel bad about what's going on in other parts of the world or even other parts of our country, right? You can if you want, but I guarantee it's going to make you feel worse. And so if you want to feel worse, if you want to feel bad, if you want to feel sorry for yourself, if you want to feel like a victim, if you want to be miserable, keep focusing on what's going on in other parts of the world that are worse than what you're experiencing right now. Focus on what you can't do anymore, what you can't have, and what you can't do, and I guarantee you can be super duper duper miserable and probably make all the other people that are having to interact with you just as miserable. We set the tone for the people that are around us, and if we're not setting the tone, I realized my daughter told me a couple weeks ago I was acting more worried than I usually am, and I'm like, I'm not really worried. I'm just like, I think it was just absorbing all the negative emotion and all the scarcity and lack and fear that was going on in the world, with just letting that kind of impact me. And I wasn't watching anything. It was just the whole energetic feeling of the planet, right, is pretty up in the air and negative. And that's why each and every one of us has to do what we can to focus on what's working, focus on what we can do, focus on the positive. I guarantee if you look for it, there are a whole lot of positives in what's going on right now in the majority of our lives. Never before have even those of us that have lost our jobs had the opportunity to have time with the people we love and care about, time to explore and do the things that we've wanted to in terms of learning and growing and personal development and being better people, right? Can always read a book. Oh, I know. Oh my God. I should read a book after I got out of school. There's no teacher here to make me read a book. Why should I read a book? So many people have that belief and that philosophy. You might be surprised how enjoyable it is to read a book. I wish I could read a book these days, people. I have to actually listen to books because my vision sucks and I can't see to read anymore. So be grateful for the things that you can do. And I will tell you, I whined and complained and felt like a victim and felt really bad that I really couldn't read things anymore, because I love learning and reading books. And I just learned that there's other ways that I can absorb and get that information. We have to be creative. Get creative. Think outside of the way that you've always been thinking. Because guess what? Some of us were going down a pretty dark tunnel and a pretty dark road before. And so look for the light. Look for the things that you can do. Look for the things that make you feel better. I'm working on live challenge workshop. 5 days are done. First 5 days of how do you do a challenge? How do you overcome challenges? How do you make challenges work for you and what you want to create in your life? And today at 11 Central, noon Eastern, I'm going to be doing a Q&A, a question and answer period for that. So if you've got questions about anything to do with challenges, hit me up in the comments below and I'll add those to the Q&A. I'm kicking myself, but not, because I did not make an offer yesterday at the end of it's not really the end of the challenge because we're doing 4 or 5 bonus days. We're still doing a scavenger hunt for another 5 days, which has an awesome prize, by the way. It's plenty of time this weekend to catch up on the challenge, listen to the challenge videos and do the assignments, and win great prizes from the assignments. I wasn't as structured, lots more going on this challenge than usual because there's so much going on in the world. And I incorporated that in my normal offer. What I normally offer after that is a 12-month coaching program. And it didn't feel right to me to offer that. Now, I'm still doing that, but just for a very few people, and we'll do it through an application. But I want to come up with something that will really meet everybody's needs right now. Not a big thing, but maybe just something to keep us going every day throughout the turmoil that each of us are facing. So I'll think about this morning before I get to the Q&A, but I would love to hear what y'all are thinking. What do you need? What do you really need right now? What isn't working? What's got you freaked out? What's the biggest problem you're facing right now? I mean, honestly, the biggest worry, the biggest doubt, the biggest fear, the biggest thing that you're facing. If you've lost your job, it's probably financial. If you, what am I thinking? I can't remember what I was thinking, but I want to make sure that what I'm offering is really an exact fit for what we need and what we need going forward. So that's why I didn't make my usual offer yesterday with the challenge. I'll come up with something today. I've got a whole vault of so much information and so much stuff. It's not like I don't have a lot that I could offer, but I'm trying to think, maybe it's a stress related thing. Maybe it's how do you actually take your business from where it is to where you want it to go throughout this crisis period, and how do you make sure that you're coming out on the other side of this better, whether your business is still running or whether your business is shut down, because business as usual is not going to be business as usual for any of us moving forward, no matter what business or what industry you're in. Even online business people, surprise, surprise, is not going to be the same as it was a few weeks ago, which is really, it's weird that that's even coming out of my mouth, but it's not going to be. And so the sooner we realize, yep, things have got to change, we've got to change with it, then we can embrace that change and start making sure that we're proactively figuring out how we want the changes to affect and to be in our lives and in our businesses and in our world. Think about that. Fun day, we talked about that. Challenge, we talked about that. Offers, rats, organize. Like I said, I'm committing to an hour a day to organize my stuff in my life, because I want to make sure that, again, my personal life comes out of this better than when I came into it, right? If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Hit me up in the comments below. Direct message me, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, or Pajama Grandma, Gramma, and let me know what you're feeling, what's going on with you. And if, again, I always say this, if I don't know the answer, I will not pretend I know the answer. I will hook you up with somebody that can help you and can point you in the right direction. Have an amazing day, and I will, of course, see you tomorrow.